What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going over the brand new, just recently released, Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. Now, if you are a longtime fan of the channel, you know that I am a diehard Monster Hunter fan. I love the genre. I've been playing for years. It is seriously one of my favorite games of all time. My favorite game just in general, my favorite series. It's wonderful. It's amazing. I truly, truly love it. And this game is just like the rest. It's a little different in the combat system and how everything works, but nonetheless, seeing as we have reached 2,000 subscribers on YouTube now, playing Monster Hunter Wilds, what better way than to continue the channel with the next installment of the series, up until Monster Hunter Wilds DLC drops later on. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. This game is a turn-based monster hunting bonanza. It's truly so much fun. You get to go back, you get to search for eggs, you get to fight monsters in a turn-based mode similar to Pokemon. You end up getting to do habitat restoration, which is going to allow you to kind of fix the world as you seem fit, all while following the main protagonist, which is the prince or the princess of Azuria, whatever you may pick. Truly, I am enjoying the absolute hell out of this game. It's only been out for a couple of days, and I am currently recording this the weekend after its release, after I was able to kind of catch back up, because I did play the demo when it was out. Overall, I'm super, super excited. That is going to do it for the intro for this video. What we're going into now is going to be a combat tutorial. Just like I did with Monster Hunter Wilds, for Monster Hunter Stories, I will be releasing different types of videos. One of the first notable ones, and the ones that I've gotten questions about the most, is combat. So, without further ado, let's get started with a combat system breakdown of Monster Hunter Stories 3. As I had said, we are going to start with combat. Combat happens in a couple different ways, okay? We're going to start left to right, okay? Left. Q, S, W, and space, plus the AD right here. These are how it looks for me because I play on mouse and keyboard. Not everybody's going to. Some of you might play on controller. Some of you might play on the Nintendo Switch too. Either way, the setup will be the same. In the case of the Q, in mine, you are going to be able to see all of your different Monsties. These Monsties are going to give you a couple different sets of information. One, what type of weapon or what type of attacks they can do. They don't use weapons, they're monsters. What kind of attacks they can do, okay? These symbols we'll break down in a second. What kind of attacks they can do. You can see each of my Monsties has different attacks that are available to them. On top of that, you'll notice they have different icons. These icons all have different meanings. Blue is a speed attack, okay? Red is a power attack, and green is a technical attack. These are the three overarching types in the combat system for Stories 3. Power, speed, technical, which you can see right here below. Power to technical wins. Technical to speed wins. Speed to power wins. Essentially what is going to be happening is you have a yin-yang effect. One thing is good against something else, but weak to something else. It is a perfect triangle allowing counters, super effectiveness, and non-effectiveness, just like other elemental-based systems. The problem the difference between, and the problem that I've arisen to, is that there is more than just the type differences. You have elemental differences. This is where learning about the things that you're fighting come into play. Back to the Q, you can see here. My Ratha is a fire type. Based off of the history that I know about Rathian and the area that I'm in, I know that this Rathian is also fire type. However, maybe you don't know that. That's okay. Right down here, you can see this is my shift key. This is status. If I click status, you can see Rathian, fire type. It has resistance to poison to fire. It's weak to thunder, sleep, bomb, I think that's bleeding, and that's darkness, okay? Meaning, we're not going to want to use a fire type attack against it. We're not going to want to use it because it's not going to do anything as far as burning goes or as far as the fire damage go. It is going to resist it. However, it is weak to something like dragon, which you can see here. On top of the fact that you have different types, you have different elements, which means a well-rounded party is going to be way more beneficial than not. Now that we've touched on the actual Monsties, their types, and how they work, the information behind it is as follows and is a lot more self-explanatory. You've got your attack, your critical rate, your wyvern fell, which is going to be the amount of gauge that you have, is going to be speed, how quick it starts its turn, its defense, how well it takes a hit, and its resistances as well, plus the different moves that you've got. Based on all of that information, they're going to vary from monster to monster and from locale to locale because everybody's going to have different stuff, but we'll get to that later, okay? All you need to know, because this is a basic breakdown, is that you need to pay attention to whatever type is up here, both in the elemental category and in the attacking category, which is the power, technical, speed, to figure out what is next. Now, your Monsties aren't the only ones that can do this. You also, as your character, get to do these as well. Not only do you get to swap between power, technical, and speed, but you also get to swap between different types of attacks. Most notably, they are going to be blunt, piercing, and slashing attacks, each of which is going to provide you with different bonuses based on where you hit. Okay, so what I mean by that, your speed, technical, and power attack are basically going to be used in a way to help counteract whatever the monster is doing. If a monster goes to hit you with a power attack and you go to hit it with a speed attack at the same time, you will do something called a head-to-head. This head-to-head is where you are literally pitted against each other, and one of you wins, the other one loses. Typically, you want to win these. When you win these, the monster doesn't get to do any damage to you, and on top of that, you will do additional damage, okay? As far as the different types of attacks that us as hunters can do, or rangers in this case, slashing, blunt, and piercing. Each of these are going to apply something different. I will cast Spirit Blade Strength right here in a speed attack against this Rathian. You can see here, in the center of this radial, you can see 3 different sets. If I were to attack its wing, we are not going to be doing very much slashing damage or very much stun damage, blunt damage. We will do decent piercing though. If we were to slash, however, the one that it were supposed to slash, where the other 2 are grayed out or crossed out, you will see that we can do significantly more Wyvern Soul. Now you might be asking, Sniper, what's Wyvern Soul? Wyvern Soul is these gauges up here. Basically, the way this works is it's their own stamina meter. The lower it gets, the better off you get. Once you've depleted it completely, you can do a topple or a stagger, which is basically going to give you the opportunity to hit a combo attack, okay? But to go back to what I was saying about the radial and the different types of attacking, you should have one of each. One for slashing, one for blunt, and one for piercing in your arsenal. The reason for that is because you don't know what you're going to be fighting, especially if it gets something different. So you want to make sure that you are breaking everything down into its most minute pieces. If you know that you're fighting a power type, use speed attacks. That will give you an advantage. If you know that you're fighting a fire type, use water attacks. It will give you an advantage. The idea behind the combat system in this game is there's a lot of different variables. What most people, at least so far that I've seen, are struggling with is controlling all of them. So that's what this video is breaking down what you can control. So now that we've touched on the Monsties, now that we've touched on the actual attacks, now that we've touched on the speed, power, and technical system, let's go ahead and actually see what happens when I get into a fight. This Rathian is turned away from me because I got a preemptive strike. Basically, if you run into a monster or attack a monster and its back is to you, you will get a preemptive strike. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a Spirit Blade attack, and we're going to go after the break bonus Wyvern Soul damage on its tail because it is the most efficient for our longsword. Cora has done her attack. I've done my attack. Ratha has done his attack. And here we go with Gravy with his. Now you'll see that 1 diamond is almost completely missing now from this Rathian's Wyvern Soul gauge. Basically what you want to do is you want to knock it down all the way. If you knock it down all the way, you are able to stagger the monster. Staggering the monster is super, super valuable because it's going to make it to where it doesn't get to act. it will sit there and not get anything. Or you'll do a topple, okay? Topple and stagger are two different things. Stagger is going to make it to where the gauge turns blue. When the gauge turns blue, they miss a lot. When they miss a lot, they don't do anything. They don't get to do anything because you just dodge everything. Your characters will, your monsters will. A topple is going to be where they stay on the ground for a turn and they are unable to take an action. There is a lot of information in this game. There is a lot, but I promise you that it is something that you will pick up as time goes on. Now, you can see here, Rathian doesn't have anything specifically targeting anyone. The way you can tell, you can only see one arrow, and that is Ratha going after the Rathian. And that's because Second Wind Gravy is on himself, Guard Reload is on herself for Korra, and I haven't chosen my attack yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a retaliation. We'll go ahead and speed this up. Heartbroken, Wyvern Soul damage, went after Korra. Now, you're about to see that Wyvern Soul gauge completely break. Back into combat with a different type of Rathian. Now that we have gone over our Q, our S, we're going to go and technically our space because it's really easy to flop between them. I'll do a quick breakdown just to be safe. Basically, you can swap between different types by rotating with A and D on my end or with whatever other key it might be looking into. You can literally swap whatever type of attack that is that you are going to be using. I had an eyelash right in my eye, okay? Basically allowing you to control what type of attack you are doing. Okay, you can see here, Korra is doing a taunt, Bishaten is using Gravios is using a Bishaten Embers, and our Ratha is using Savage Fireball, meaning we have a regular just stamina use, we have a speed attack, we have a power attack, we could go for a technical to cover all of our bases, or you can wait and see what's going to happen. As far as actually swapping weapons is very, very simple. All you do is you have 3 different weapons equipped. That's it. You can literally just click it, and you can click confirm, and it will allow you to swap weapons. So this is a technical hammer attack on its head. Just like that. Okay? You can see there. They went head to head, and they tied because they both did speed attacks. Because we know the Rathian wanted to go speed, we can assume that going technical is typically the way to do it. So, as a just in case, what we're going to do is we're going to do a technical attack. It's using Venom Sweep. Venom Sweep is going to be an AoE. It's yellow. It is not targeting any one specific thing, okay? Now, we've gone over Q, we've gone over S, we've gone over the different weapon types, we've gone over how it all works. What we need to touch on now, aside from statuses and figuring out what's next, is the kinship gauge down here. Long story short, each of your monsters has this teardrop or raindrop, whatever you want to call it, okay? This is their kinship gauge. Basically, it's your friendship level. The higher it is, the cooler it is. The more you get to do interesting things. You can see Violet, my Dread Queen Rathian, started with 7. My Lagiacrus, however, my Sergios, my Ivory Lagiacrus, and my Bishaten all started lower than that. Ratha's a little harder to tell because I've already had him out, and the way you fill this gauge is by doing attacks, both with your Monstie attacks and your character attacks. What happens is you are able to end up putting yourself in a decent position to be able to do more damage and heal yourself once it's full. So let's go ahead and go for that right now. Let's go ahead and fill it up a little bit. You can see there, we were at 40 before. We're probably close to about 60 now. Take a look. Yeah, 57. So, a couple more turns. But before we get there, we'll showcase items. Everybody's weak. Items are huge. Items are viable. Items are very, very important in this game. Unlike most Monster Hunter games where you can get by without doing any sort of healing, in this one, you kind of need it. And the 2 major ones that I'm going to touch on are Life Soot, or Dust of Life, Life Powder, heals that go for your entire team, and Vital Essences. Vital Essences restore a heart. These hearts are right below your kinship gauge. Basically, they are your lives in a hunt. If you fall 3 times, you or your Monstie, you lose. Meaning, this is super, super important. In a hard fight where you and your Monstie have gone down multiple times, this can be a run saver. Okay? So we do Life Suit to heal everybody. Potion, thanks to Cora. And just like that, because we healed, we were able to survive. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a Venom Strike. We're going to go ahead and go after the head because that's where everybody else is going. We're going to do the exact same thing with my hammer. You can see there, that is a double attack. Now, 2 things. 1, toppled. We decide not to go with an attack. The monster stays down and is unable to do anything for this turn, okay? They will not attack. 2, a double attack is when both your hunter and a Monstie both do the same type of attack, so technical, power, or speed, at the same time, the same type, same time, against one monster, and you win the head-to-head. So, head-to-heads, just like I said before, are any of these 3 types of attacks, monster versus you. If your monster, in this case Ratha, power attack, and let's say I were to do a power attack, and they were to do a technical attack, this Rathian was, we would win the head-to-head and do a double attack. That is going to work every single time, and is a good way to stop the monster from hitting you. So, really easy to work on, but because you can't control your monster's basic moves, it's a little easier to work on once you have a better idea and you have a more variable team set, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and actually just do a regular basic attack with our longsword. You can see here, because we toppled it and we didn't do the synchro rush, it got back up, it didn't get a turn. It's a good way to kind of make sure that you survive a little longer. Next up is a perfect opportunity. We're going to go back to the kinship gauge. You can see that mine is full. You know it's full because it says right up top. What that means is you get to hop on your monster. What you may not know is that it will heal your team to basically full HP. You can see I have 67, Ratha has 32. When I click ride, they go up all the way. Meaning, you are able to sit there and get your kinship gauge and use it as a one-time immediate heal. And you activate new types of attacks. Kinship skill attacks. Kinship skill attack, at least for Ratha, is going to be sky high dive. Or you can do the double kinship skill. I will showcase the sky high dive first, just because the animations are insanely good in this game. Basically what these are going to do is these are going to prevent the monster from attacking you. You get this really cool animation of your monster and hunter doing something insanely cool. They absolutely cooked with these animations, I won't lie. And the monster took a ton of damage, okay? Now, you can see that I am back to full health. My kinship gauge is gone. Had I chosen to do the dual kinship attack, I would have had a different animation, and it would have done more damage, but that is going to be for you guys to decide the more you play the game, okay? Now you can see here, we have already broken its head, we've already broken its wing, or its tail, and now we are currently working on the wings. Will we get it before it dies? Probably not, but we're going to go for it no matter what, okay? So, you can see here, Ratha is doing a power attack. I am doing a power attack, but mine is a quick shot. If we were to look, we don't know who it's targeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a regular power attack in hopes that we win a head-to-head. Oh, never mind. Cora is going to do her kinship attack. Each of your hunters will do it after 3 turns because that's when the monster riding goes away. They absolutely cooked with these animations. Absolutely cooked. And the pink Rathian is down. Obviously, there is more intricacies when it comes to the combat system of the game, but this is supposed to be just a brief breakdown. That way people that are struggling can start to figure it out. The game itself is not necessarily hard. What is hard is going to be anticipating and figuring out what comes next. Because this was a basic combat tutorial, I don't really think there's a whole lot else for me to touch on. We hit type breakdowns, the elementals, the kinship gauge, the weapon types. Part breaks are going to give you additional rewards at the end of it, and in certain fights might make it a little easier because you might get rid of the ability for a monster to do something specific. Stamina is very, very easily managed because you just can't activate any of your skills if you don't have stamina. Item buttons we had touched on. The heart system we did, topple and staggers, double attacks, the Monstie writing. Yeah. Out of everything on my checklist over here on the second monitor, we touched the majority of it. The only thing left would be to do battle allies. There's a couple different ways that you can do this here. You can take a look at strategies, okay? If you were to press the key up here in the top left, you can see strategies. For me, it's F. Basically, what this is going to be is you are going to determine whatever your allies are fighting, what they go for first in a hunt, prioritizing the same monster as you, a different monster as you, the largest monster, the smallest monster, or they get to choose whatever they think is deemable. Okay? What you need to know is that each of these guys have different setups. Okay? Not only do they have different monsters, they have different weapon types, and they have different items. Okay? Thea, for example. Thea is wonderful. 215 attack, 243 HP, 292, and 221. Overall, Thea is a good option for a damage dealer, just like Eleanor, okay? Eleanor and Thea are both wonderful at it, but they don't have very many items. 2 Vital Essence, 1 Flash Bomb, 1 Sonic Pop, some Grape Juice, rations, no Berry Elixirs. There's not a lot of supportive utility there, okay? If we were to look at Eleanor, she's literally the same thing. She does not have a lot going for her. But then you take a look at someone like Gaul or Ogden, and they have more supportive utility. Meaning, Gaul will sit there and he'll use potions on you. He'll use a life powder. He'll cleanse some sort of status ailment you've got going on and set traps. Ogden, however, uses the hunting horn. With his myriad of items, he's going to be buffing you. He's going to be slaying traps. He's going to be throwing paraknives. And Puke can poison. Gravios and Cora. Cora is able to use the gun lance, which means she can taunt the monster, forcing the aggro off of you. The whole idea behind the battle allies is to determine which one works best for you and adjust them as you see fit. Overall, I know that this was a lot of information. I know that there was a lot of stuff going on, and I know that I talked really, really quick during the entire video. I apologize for all of that because of how much information is going into all of this. I didn't want it to be like a 35-minute video, which means I had to talk quickly and I had to hit things quick and move on. If you guys have questions, you are more than welcome to come and ask in the YouTube comment section. You are welcome to come and join the Discord and ask there. Or if you see me live on Twitch, whether I'm playing stories on stream or not, you are able to ask all of these questions. I will be doing more content on this. In fact, I'm about to record another video breaking down the map and how to use it to its absolute fullest potential. However, that is going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell. I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take shit. I got no